Good morning, everyone. Let's go over all the games happened on Martin Luther King Day, January 19th, 2026. The first game is the Bucks. They beat the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks, after they traded Trae Young, they haven't been themselves. They lost four straight, and it's not like Trae Young was playing. They just got CJ McCollum back, and it seems like they're trying to learn how to play with him. Pretty close game. Giannis played just 29 minutes, had 17 rebounds, 21 points. Pretty quiet game overall from Giannis. Only took 12 shots, but you're happy he's playing. Got 17 rebounds, and they made a big change. They have Ryan Rollins coming off the starting, and they have Kevin Porter Jr. come off the bench. That's fine. Kevin Porter Jr. still played 28 minutes. I wouldn't be too worried about it. They do make lineup changes. It might be better for Kevin Porter Jr. come off the bench. Run the second unit without Giannis. This is just one game. I think still gonna get a lot of minutes. They need to play him. So it's just one game. If somebody's panicking, you can maybe go buy low. I still look at him as a top 50, 60 type of player. So if you trade away a 80, 90 player, no problem. AJ Green, for whatever reason, this can play 41 minutes. So they did change up their strategy a little bit because AJ Green is a plus 14 in his 41 minutes. When he's not playing, when he was not on the court, the starters played fairly poorly for whatever reason here. Ryan Rollins had a decent one with 2 steals and a block, but just the assist number is just not very high, with Giannis around. And Kyle Kuzma, he's not really fantasy relevant, and Miles Turner continue his disappointing year. And Turner is not the first year Turner had a disappointing year. This year it's obviously bad. 105th ranked player, just averaging 1.5 blocks. In the past when he was with the Pacers, right, his number is gonna be up and down, like 13 points and 7 rebounds in some years, but he still give you a lot of blocks. This year just 1.5, so it's just not his year. I wouldn't buy low or anything like that. You just gotta hold him. Bobby Portis, with all the guys come back, he still got 19 points. He could still be a streamer. But the Bucks, they got the win still. For the Hawks, Jalen Johnson played 40 minutes. Really big game. He was struggling quite a bit, learning, I guess, how to play with CJ. Now they have CJ come up a bench, play 24 minutes. CJ played well. He was a plus 17. And Jalen Johnson played well. 16 rebounds. Added 16 rebounds as well. It's just the free throws now. It's coming, hurting you a little bit. 3 for 6 here. With Trae Young gone, I think one of the biggest beneficiary is Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who played 38 minutes, had a big one, 32 points, took 16 threes, 7 threes, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal and a block. Unbelievable game from him. Dyson Daniels had a triple-double, almost a triple-double with 3 steals and block. And Okongwu really struggled here. I wouldn't be too worried, right? Porzingis really, he's just in and out of the lineup all year. And Okongwu should get good minutes. Still had 10 rebounds, 4 assists with 2 steals and a block. So just a rough one versus the Bucks interior defense. He will be back next game. The next one is the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are without Jalen Williams and Isaiah Hartenstein and a bunch of other guys. It didn't really seem to matter too much. They blew out the Cavs, who's a decent team at home, 130 on the road, 136-104. Shea, 30 points. Seemed pretty empty, honestly. 1 steal and 2 blocks is good, but for a guy that's we look at him as a top 2, top 3 player in fantasy. This is Jokic. You don't have games like this. Good efficiency though, but just really lack of rebounding and assist. And this year his he's only averaging 1.3 steals versus last year I think he almost had 2 a game. Chet Holmgren had a big one. I think with Jalen Williams out, it should help him. He shot the ball really well, of course. 4 for 5 on 3, 28 points with 8 rebounds and 2 blocks. I was surprised they have AJ Mitchell come off the bench, but if AJ's on the waiver wire, I would definitely pick him up. Same thing with Aaron Wiggins. Jalen Williams is gonna be out a couple weeks. But game to game, you just don't know. Isaiah Joe might pop off, right? Lou Dort had a crazy game here, 5 for 6 from 3. Eric Wiggins could come in and play huge minutes. So all these guys, I think we could, stream, especially if there's a back-to-back. Caruso here only got 7 minutes. Caruso has not been good. Cannot find his shot, but it's okay. For these type of player, he's a veteran. He found his shot. He'll contribute in the playoffs. Oklahoma City Thunder is still a great team, but they're just no longer the, they shot 49% from three, by the way. They're just not as invincible as people thought they were beginning of the season. For the Cavs, Jalen Tyson right now needs to be rostered. He was pretty horrible here, -26. But with Garland out, they're playing him huge minutes. I like him a lot, 16 points and grabbed 10 rebounds as well. Dean Wade, of course, he's not fantasy relevant. Jared Allen, again, just 28 minutes. He was a -31. When everybody's healthy, Garland was also out here. Jared Allen he's just not getting 35 minutes a night. Mobley had a decent one with 7 rebounds, 5 assists, still in a block. But I feel like his fantasy ceiling is never gonna be that high as long as Allen is on the team. If he's the center, only big man, right? He could average 12 rebounds, 20 points, a bunch of assists, steals, and blocks. But with Allen around, he's just never getting that. He's not getting as many blocks as well because he's just not sitting in the paint. A lot of power forward nowadays, they're stretch three, so he's just not in the paint. Donovan had a pretty rough one, but he should be fine. Overall, Donovan Mitchell has been great this year, averaging 29 points with 1.5 steals, 5.7 assists, and 48% from the field, and 84% from the free throw line. So all these are great, great efficiency, great numbers. But for this Cavs team, it's about playoff success. Although this year they're also struggling a little bit in the regular season, because this is just a 7th seed. East is pretty open this year. It could be anybody. The next one, no Kawhi Leonard, no problem. Because they're playing the Wizards. The Clippers got the win. Harden got to the line 20 times. When you play a young team, sometimes it happens. 20 free throws is crazy. 36 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists. Harden still got it. Amazing. Harden is 13th ranked player. So if you draft him in end of first or early second, you're still getting great value. He barely missed any games. He played 39 games so far this year. So pretty happy with Harden overall. I would say the production. Zubac, 12 rebounds, 14 points is okay. Just right around his average. Chris Dunn played 39 minutes. So of course, if you need assists and defensive stats, with Kawhi Leonard out, for sure he's a great option. Kawhi shouldn't be out for too long. Maybe miss another game or two. He should be back. John Collins, 11 points and 1 3. Collins needs to be rostered as well because he's been playing really well. But he only got 26 minutes here because you have Jordan Miller came off the bench. He was a +19. He had it going, but it's just hard to trust he's going to get consistent minutes on this team. For the Wizards, Alex Sarr went off with 28 points and 2 threes, added 2 steals and block. Alex Sarr has been really up and down this year. Like beginning of the season, he was red hot. And then the last month or two, I guess he was out for a little while. He's still the 39th ranked player overall on the season, averaging 2.2 blocks. It's the free throws that's a little bit worrying, 70% on 3.4 attempts. If he can improve his free throws, his rank will be even higher, and he's only just playing 28 minutes a game, especially in category leagues in the years to come. As long as he can block 2 shots, right, his offense is only going to get better. Like he could be a top 40, 50 player in the years to come. Kind of like a unicorn like Jaren Jackson Jr., Miles Turner, right, who can hit threes and score a little bit and grab rebounds. And this year his efficiency really improved, especially from the field goal perspective. He's shooting 50%. Bob Carrington, right? Trae Young is still out for many games, so maybe Bob Carrington could be a guy that we roster. Although most nights, because he doesn't get defensive stats, but should have some assists and some threes and some points. Trey Johnson also another guy. If we're looking for threes and some scoring, very consistent. Making those threes, 3 threes, 15 points. And Chris Middleton's minutes up a little bit, and Keyshawn George had a great one as well. Yeah, I think with CJ gone and with Trae Young now playing for now, it should help out. It should help with all these young guys, and we just don't know when Trae's going to be back, to be honest, or he's going to be back at all this year. They should play him if he's fully healthy. They should play him, but he's going to sit out a lot. The next one is the Mavericks. They embarrassed the New York Knicks 114-97. Knicks are kind of crumbling a little bit. They're they lost. They lost 4 straight. They're still 30 in the East, but yeah, East is pretty open this year. They gotta make a deep playoff run, but they've been struggling 2-8 in the last 10 games. Cooper Flag plays just 28 minutes because of the blowout. 18 points is okay. For a little while, Cooper Flag was averaging like 25 points. Now he's kind of coming back just a little bit and missed a bunch of free throws here. Max Christie has been popping off. 26 points and 8 threes. He goes 8 for 10. He's probably one of the main reasons they blow out the Knicks. Just could not miss from three. We could roster him, but in category leagues, the problem with him is he doesn't get a lot of defensive stats, not a lot of rebound or assists. So it really depends on how hot his shootings are. But he's getting the minutes, getting the usage. If you like him, I don't mind rostering him for now. Narji Marshall had 19 points. He's just so consistent. Give you 17, 18 points a game. With everybody out, we could have him as well. And with this Mavericks team, of course you have AD out for like 6-7 weeks minimum. He's gonna get reevaluated. There's a chance he may not come back this year. Depending on how the Mavericks goes, really. And of course with Kyrie Irving, they don't have a timeline for Kyrie either. They are right now 2 games out of the 10th seed. So depending on how things go, to be honest, for another month, because Kyrie, I think, is still going to be out for like maybe after All-Star break. So if the Mavericks, they can pick up some wins, there is a reason to have AD and Kyrie back, fighting for the 10th seed. But if not, let's say they lose 10 straight, I don't see there's any reason they would rush back Kyrie Irving or even AD when they say they do the really re-evaluation. They might come back, play 25 minutes, just play around, especially when we get to the end of the season and they're out of the playoffs. Even they do bring them back, really they're not really going to play that hard. They're not going to put up crazy numbers. And AD is just having a very disappointing year even when he's playing this year. So however, if somebody dropped AD, you should still pick him up, especially if you're in a good position. You got IR, because just the chance that he comes back and start dominating, right? You can win the league with AD. For the Knicks, Karl Anthony Towns, 22 points, 18 rebounds is nice, but he's been struggling in a major way. Jalen Brunson, 22 points, 6 assists, just look very empty. They look pretty lost. Mikal Bridges, 7 points, 2 steals and a block, and OG Anunoby only took 8 shots, 9 points, 3 steals and a block. I think offensively, they really kind of got to figure out, because OG would like to get some shots up. Same thing with Mikal Bridges. It's just not very good that Jalen Brunson is ball hogging all the time. I feel like, Jalen Brunson, like you should, first, second, third quarter, you should let the guys cook a little bit. Like, it's okay. You don't have to average 30 points. Just average like 24, 25. And like Mikal Bridges, OG, because these guys can score too. So I don't know what's wrong with this team. Mitchell Robinson did his job, 14 offensive rebounds and 12 points. He could always be a rebound streamer. But yeah, I don't know what's going on in the locker room. Why are folks not happy? But they got to figure it out. They got to fix this. The next one is the Utah Jazz. They lost to the Spurs. I mean, the tanking already started. Lauri Markkanen is out for like 4 or 5 games already. So with him out, Keontae George stepped up a little bit, 30 points, 4 threes. Efficiency were pretty bad. And I think Filipowski now, for sure, like with Lauri Markkanen now, let's pick him up. And, okay game, 13 points and 2 steals. At some point, I think they got to stop playing Jusuf Nurkic, who played a great game, by the way. In 26 minutes, 20 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. He's putting up big numbers in Utah this year. Need to be rostered, but try to sell him, of course, if you can. And interestingly, they only played Isaiah Collier 22 minutes. They gave a lot of minutes to the rookie Walter Clayton Jr., who played 32 minutes, 8 points, 7 assists, and 2 steals is decent. Let's monitor his minutes. If when we get to the end of the season, they're giving this guy more minutes, I think maybe he could be rostered. And of course, Bryce Sensabaugh was out, who popped off the last week. I don't know if they trust him. They lost pretty bad here, but he for sure can score. I just don't know, because Lauri Markkanen has been out. If he's back, there's no way Sensabaugh is going to get this many touches. For the Spurs, Wembanyama finally had a big one, 33 points, 10 rebounds with 2 steals and block and 7 threes. But, this game is versus the Jazz. And, of course, the minutes are still low for Victor Wembanyama. De'Aaron Fox, 8 assists, 4 steals, pretty good. And Stephon Castle added 8 assists and a block and 18 points as well. Stephon Castle's main problem is his bad free throws. He's got to fix that. If he can't hit 80% in fantasy, his value is going to go up a lot. Great win by the Spurs. They're the second best team in the West. So for them, let's see how far they can go in this year's playoffs. The next one, the Sixers, they beat the Pacers. Yeah, the Sixers, they're beating teams they're supposed to beat. However, the 5th seed right now, when we get to the playoffs, can Embiid, Paul George, these guys stay healthy and make a deep playoff run? Because this is the year. They don't have Celtics they don't have Tatum. Knicks in trouble right now, and the best team right now is the Detroit Pistons. Sixers can definitely make a deep run, even make it to the finals. If they're fully healthy. On paper, it's not like any team is better than them on paper. It's just overall health. For the Pacers, Aaron Nesmith goes 1 for 9, but he needs to be rostered. He had 11 rebounds. Andrew Nembhard, 25 points is decent. Jay Huff continues to put up good numbers in just 22 minutes. 10 points, 3 blocks. I'm happy with that, with 2 threes, remaining on must roster. And Pascal Siakam added 24 points. But Siakam this year, overall, we thought without Tyrese Halliburton, he's going to have a better year. He is, number-wise, counting number-wise, but he's the 98th ranked player across 9 category leagues because of the bad free throw, 68%. So if you drafted him thinking that, he's just averaging 23.6 points. We thought, okay, maybe without Tyrese, he can average 25, 26. So really, the absence of Tyrese Halliburton hasn't really helped Siakam all that much. I would say overall pretty disappointing this year, especially the bad free throws. For the Sixers, Embiid, he's been really, really good. Got to show respect. The minutes are up, 30 points, 9 for 10 from the line. Of course, he's not going to get that many defensive stats or rebounds because his mobility is really cooked. But he's playing, he's putting up big numbers, happy with that. Tyrese Maxey, man, 29 points, 8 assists, and I thought I read the stats wrong. He had 8 steals and a block. What a game from him, remaining a top 5 player in fantasy rest of the way, played 40 minutes. He just got to stay healthy. I know he got a couple of hamstring issues. Paul George was out, so Kelly Oubre Jr., right, he could be rostered. VG Edgecombe. With everybody healthy, it's really dependent on how many defensive stats he could get. If he can get to 1.5, 1.6 steals, I think that could help his value a lot. And Quentin Grimes, it's hard to hold on to him when everybody starts coming back. So I'm okay to drop at this point. Moving on to the next one, the Phoenix Suns, they beat the Brooklyn Nets. The Phoenix Suns, they're just a great team this year. They're just a great team, and they got Jalen Green back. Defensively, they're just great. Devin Booker had a decent game, but for a guy that's getting drafted in the first round, this is just not going to cut it. 24 points, 1 3, 4 rebound, and 4 assists. Just not going to cut it. He needs to. I think one area he should be improving is find a way to get more assists, but maybe the defense is just designed for him to get rid of the ball, so he doesn't get to score or have assists either. And Jalen Green, I think he was questionable, so he should be back soon. So let's see how all these young guys play together. But things are working out. Mark Williams had a big one, two steals and 3 blocks. I haven't seen that from him. Finally has a good game. He's also been disappointing. I mean, he has such a his wingspan is insane. He's got all the tools to be successful, but he just, on this team, he just hasn't been that good. Dylan Brooks, of course, keep it going. 27 points and 6 threes. He's been amazing this year. Royce O'Neal hit 3 threes. He could be rostered. And Grayson Allen, played 30 minutes off the bench. He's the best, one of the best, I think the best 3-point streamers out there. For the Brooklyn Nets, Michael Porter Jr. came back, 23 points, 2 steals, 4 assists, and 6 rebounds. Struggled a little bit, but overall, I think if he stay on the Nets, he doesn't get traded, he should still put up big numbers. It's not like the things he's doing is not sustainable. He can score for sure. If he goes to a different situation, he might be way worse. But of course, if he stay on the Nets, how much rest are they going to give him? I'm not sure. right? Cam Thomas was out, who's been pretty horrible. I think Cam Thomas, we still got to hold on to him. They still have some upside. They started this guy, Drake Powell. He's not really fantasy relevant. Tyrese Maxey, not really. He's just never been that good in fantasy. Claxton played 37 minutes, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and a block. 12 points is decent. Claxton has been getting a lot of assists this year, so that's a nice surprise. And Noah Clowney had 16 points. Just seemed very empty. On this Brooklyn Nets team, really, they don't really have a lot of good fantasy players, to be honest with you. That we would love to stream. And they also play guys like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, so you just don't know who is going to have a good game or who is going to even play. The next game is the Celtics. They barely lost to Detroit. This is the number 1 and number 2 seed in the East. So pretty impressive by the Celtics, despite Derek White going 1 for 11, only 4 points. He'll bounce back from this. Jaylen Brown, 32 points, 11 rebounds, 2 threes. Big game from Jaylen Brown and Peyton Pritchard. 3 threes, 17 points. Peyton Pritchard just, we really thought he's going to have a big year, but so far it hasn't really been the case, and I don't see why things would turn around unless something drastic changes. This is just how they're going to use PP. This is just how PP is going to play. So yeah, just 17, 18 points, give you 2 threes, and good efficiency. Not a lot of assists, not a lot of defensive stats. So just a pretty efficient guy that won't hurt you anywhere. Nemias played 20 minutes. He's a must roster. 8 rebounds, 3 steals, and a block. 10 points. Pretty great. And they've been playing Sam Hauser. If you need threes, sure, he's a guy hit 4 threes. And Fernie Simons, he's not really fantasy relevant in my opinion. Just doesn't get enough minutes and usage. For Detroit, great win. Despite Kate Cunningham struggling, still dished out 14 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks. 16 points. Kate Cunningham's the counting numbers are good. It just he's still a little bit inconsistent. If you like Shea or if you that elite, and he has this season. I think he has had a couple games like this, right? Maybe every 5 or 6 games he goes 4 for 17. Who did they play? I forgot. He took like 40 field goals versus another team. So yeah, he still maybe needs to work on his consistency a little bit more. Duncan Robinson 5 threes, great, another great 3-point streamer. Jalen Duren had a decent one, 18 points and 9 rebounds, but just got to give us more blocks. Tobias had 3 threes, 24 points. What a game from Tobias, and Asar Thompson also popped off with 4 steals and a block. This is why sometimes you just gotta just say like, hey, I just gotta roster Thompson. It's because games like this where he can pop off for 4 steals and a block. All right, move on to the next game. Last game of the night, the Miami Heat. We got some major news coming out of this game. Is Jimmy Butler is out for season. I think he tore his ACL. So the Warriors are pretty cooked. We know Jimmy, right? How far can they really go? And let's see if they're gonna make a move. You do not want to waste Curry like this. They're right now the 8th seed. They probably still make the 10th seed or whatever. But yeah, they're not winning anything this year. Unless they make some major trade, who knows? For the Heat, where is Tyler Hero? Tyler Hero has not played. He just have different injuries every year. So far, how many games has he played? Whenever he plays, he's really good. He just hasn't really played a lot. So Norman Powell, 21 points, 2 threes, decent. Andrew Wiggins had 18 points, but it was a minus 24. Collectively, everybody played pretty horribly from the Heat. I guess the only guy who had a decent game is Kawhi Ware. 7 for 10, just 18 minutes, but had 15 points. They got to figure out Kawhi Ware's minutes. I feel like I know it could be rough sometimes. It doesn't make sense to have him next to Bam Adebayo in certain matchups. But yeah, I think just from a player development perspective, I know the Miami Heat, they were trying to win, but there's no reason to play like Drew Smith 8 minutes, right? Or Simone Fontecchio, right? There's no reason. If you want a player development, like Kawhi Ware has probably the highest ceiling out of everyone on this team. So, but Spoelstra, he's gonna do what he feels like is the best thing for the team to win. So, It's okay. I would still hold on to Kawhi Leonard despite the low minutes. I think, once there will be a stretch where he plays well, he gets like 25 to 30 minutes, become a top 50 player. So for the Warriors, Steph Curry, 19 points, 11 assists is okay, but with no Jimmy Butler, they really cooked. Moody actually could be somebody we pick up. Now Jimmy Butler is out, they kind of have to keep playing him more minutes. Maybe they play Pajemski more minutes, who had a decent game, 24 points. But none of these guys are like be a top 20, 30, top 20, top 30 player upside, right? They're like maybe top 70, 80, 90, and they're super inconsistent on this team. And the Warriors might lose a lot of games, blowout games, and when that happens, Curry is not going to play some of these guys huge minutes. That's it, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.